Hello everyone, hope you're having a great holiday season. I'm doing something with my jelly print that I made on a short recently. If you missed that short, I will link that to this video. But I had dropped a bunch of colors with some inks onto watercolor paper, these Winsor and Newton inks, and I wanted to turn it into a card. I like to do some hand drawing, hand lettering whenever I can. I don't always feel confident in my lettering, so sometimes I like using stamps. But in this case, I thought I would give it a try. I did add this to some watercolor paper. This is the Canson watercolor paper, so it's a little bit thicker. The one I used for my print was the 90-pound Artist Loft paper from Michaels. So this one does hold water pretty well. I wrote my little sentiment, the happy birthday sentiment. I erased it and I'm adding water kind of around the letters, just loosely. And now I'm using a number 1 brush. And I wanted to kind of mix my colors, and I didn't want to mix them in their jars. So I have these little pipettes that I'm just dropping some of the ink onto my palette. And what I'll do is take my 1-inch brush and just starting with the lightest color, the yellow, I'm just touching it to the wet areas and letting it bleed. Now the pink and the blue were really vibrant. The yellow wasn't as vibrant painting it like this. So I kind of had to go back and forth with my yellow, and I went in with the pink and made it more like an orange because it showed up a little bit better. If your letters start drying as you're working, you can just go back in with your brush, your wet brush that's clean, and then add more water, which is what I did here. And again, I'm just kind of dropping in my colors, letting them fade into each other and fade out a little bit. And nice and blurry is what I want for this part. I'm matching the colors to the colors in my print. And then once that was dry, I used some of my markers here. These are just black number 10 markers from Micron. And I'm just tracing my lettering just with the black first. And then I have a gray pen. I accidentally got these gray pens. I thought I was getting more of my black pens. And once I got home, I realized I got gray ones. Well, I thought maybe that's not such a bad thing because I can use them to make shadows. So that's what I'm using the gray pen for here, is to just draw a shadow along one side of my lettering. Once I hold it up, you'll see it a little bit better, and it also shows up a little bit better once it's dried. And some areas I just drew over my lines a couple of times to really be able to see the gray. So here you can see that little bit of shadow. I wanted to add some sparkle to my sentiment, so I'm using my calligraphy pen. I have different nibs for it, and I keep them in this little box that I have. And I wanted something really fine, a really fine tip. This one is kind of fine, and I found this one, which does have a nice fine tip to it. It's kind of short. And then I saw this one up at the front that has a really fine tip, and it's a little bit longer, so it'll hold a little bit more ink. And I used my gold. I had to shake it up really well and get my pen working. But the nice thing about this is once you get it running or working, it does go a decent amount. I think I could get about 2 to 3 letters at a time before I had to re-ink, but you just kind of dip it back into your ink and it will keep going. And it's kind of just a relaxing exercise, just drawing around your lettering. I went kind of between the black and the gray with this fine tip gold. So that's kind of where I was aiming my gold lettering part. And I just did that until I got all of my letters filled in with some gold. If you're finding that your ink, if you use this kind of an ink, is at one point my gold was getting lighter and lighter, almost like I couldn't really see the gold anymore, I realized you may have to shake your bottle in between lettering to get that gold moving around again. So once I started working on the birthday part of the sentiment, I had some areas that weren't coming out nice and gold like the happy part. So I did have to go back in and retrace over some of those lines after shaking my bottle. I love how this just brings the sentiment to life, especially when you tilt it in the light. It pops with the gold glitter on there. And then I wanted to add a little bit more around my sentiment, so I just did little dots here and there, either in groups of 2 or 3. And this little tip makes it a lot easier to make these perfect little circles. And you can make them in whatever size you like. I didn't want to stop drawing just yet, so I started adding streamers on the side of my sentiment. This adds a nice touch of gold framing my sentiment, and I just thought it was fun drawing in these little streamers. Some of them blend together. I did like overlap some of the streamers, and then others I kept separate. It was just a lot of fun, just kind of making little doodles. So here's what it's looking like with the gold shine all around this sentiment. Next, I cut out some borders on the 2 sides and cut it down so it was closer to the happy birthday part. Then I used my watercolor brush and just dipped it in the gold ink after shaking the gold ink again. And I'm just tracing it along the border part of my little doily cutout. And I did that on both sides. You do want to make sure if you're using really good brushes, which this is a really good brush, that you rinse your brush out right away. This is an ink. I don't know if it will harden on the brush, but just for caution's sake, I did rinse it right away. So this is my print that has all of those beautiful colors and what it looks like with the happy birthday in front of it. I think it stands out nicely. What I'm going to do is cut this down to fit in an A2 size card. I did cut down an A2 sized card base, and this is 140 pound cardstock, very thick. I've been liking this lately for a sturdier card. I use the 110 pound Nina White cardstock a lot for my card bases, but they do get kind of warped easily when I put layers on it. I found this black die cut in it was like my scraps, and I cut it down to fit around the border, so it had like a border around my sentiment. But then I realized I really liked the design and I wanted to cover up kind of a part of the top. The bottom part of my print looked great. It was completely filled in. So I thought I would just glue this to the top part and then put my sentiment in the middle. I could have put it on the bottom as well, just like this, but I felt like it was covering up too much of that cool print. So I felt like by putting it in the center, I could see a little bit of the top portion and a little bit of the bottom portion, and I wasn't losing as much of that fun background. But I was also toning it down a little bit with that black on the top. I did feel like I needed a frame around my happy birthday remarks, so I used this Prismacolor. It's just an alcohol marker, and I'm testing it out on a scrap piece First I drew it on and it was kind of wobbly. Then I picked up my paper and kind of, with the flat side of my marker, just kind of brushed it down, which was better, but I felt like it wasn't thick enough by doing that. So, but I do like having that border, definitely helps. I like a little bit thicker, but I wanted it to be more of a solid border, like it was a part of my sentiment here. So what I did is I tested out just using a scrap piece of paper and then drawing the part that was exposed with my marker. And that worked out really nice. And then I could make that line as thick or as thin as I like. So that's what I did for the top and bottom part. Just lined it up, and I have a scrap piece of paper underneath. And what was really cool, I didn't expect this, but the gold that I drew, it actually shines through the alcohol marker. So I can draw right over that gold and it still shows like gold even after drawing over it. It's probably because it's an alcohol marker, which is a transparent marker. I decided to do the same thing to the sides, and while I was doing that, I just colored in over any white spots that I might have missed behind the gold area. And I think it looks so much more complete and finished like this. Now I am using this Aleene's DIY craft glue. It's heavy duty. I got this at Dollar Tree recently and I've used it for a few projects. I haven't used it on my card making yet, so I am testing that out here. I'm just using this to adhere my black part that has the honeycomb look to it. It did smear through, so when I was kind of rubbing it, it kind of smushed out a little bit, kind of like how my wet glue does. So I used a paper towel to clean away some of those areas, and I was hoping it was going to dry clear. And then I used my wet Aleene's glue to adhere the card to the card base. So as I was looking at this, I thought I would put a little design underneath this happy birthday sentiment to decide what. I actually found these Dollar Tree die cuts that I haven't used very much. This one looks like clouds. So I pulled out another scrap piece of a Gelli print that I was working with earlier, and the colors look just right for this project. I cut out a white and a purple of the cloud shape. And I'm just going to layer them on top of each other. And then I will glue the purple behind my sentiment. And to make this stand out a little bit, I did use some foam tape. These are also my Dollar Tree foam tapes that I use. And I just set that in the center. And this is what my card looks like. I think it's so cute, and I like to finish out the inside. Since I was kind of playing around with this piece that I had used as a scrap, I decided to line that on the inside flap, just on the one side. And this is the side that you'll see when you open the card. And then when it's sitting on the counter or wherever, you'll also see that little strip. So here's a little bonus content I have for you. As I was trying to get my card to stand, because this is a thicker card base, it kept sliding on the glass. I mean, here it's not doing it like it was, but I would set it down and it just kept sliding, like it was trying to do the splits on me until it was flat, and it just kept going. Everywhere that was a slick surface, it just kept sliding. I don't know if you've had this problem before with your cards, and I wanted to see if I could come up with a little solution. I cut my Gelli print down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. On the 4 1/4 side, I put that into my score tool and I scored at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Then I flipped it and scored again at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So I did a 1/2 inch, so you could do a 1/4 inch instead, and that would give you a more shallow shelf here, and it probably wouldn't stand out as much. I thought about maybe making a shorter one, but I already had folded this one, so I was just going to go with it. So for the 2 end scores, I folded those backwards into the back side, and then I flipped it and accordion folded the opposite direction. And then when you lift those up, you have this nice little shelf or like a little holder where your card can sit. And here I'm just testing it out to see if it's the right width, and it is. It's perfect. I decided to glue my folds so that it just kind of makes it look a little more complete. And you could stick this inside your card if you're giving this to someone. And then if they put it on a glass countertop, a granite, any kind of a shiny surface or slick surface, they won't have the problem of it sliding. I put instructions on the back of it so my recipient would know what to do with this. Mine says card holder, so it doesn't slide. This is the bottom. Then you just flip it over. You can fold those little edges in, and then you can put your card in the stand. Now, I did think about the fact that it kind of covers up the bottom part of my design. So to get around that, all I had to do was flatten out my shelf in the front, and it will still stand inside there. I thought about maybe folding it backwards, but that wouldn't work. So instead, if I pushed it forward or more flat, I could still get it to stay on there like this, and then it doesn't cover up my design. And it still works like a nice little shelf, so my card doesn't go sliding around. So you could either do it like this or have the shelf kind of sticking up, and it will stay in there very nicely. And it is something that you could even adhere to the bottom of your card so that someone could just keep it attached to the card. But I decided I was still kind of coming up with this design, and I didn't know if I was ready to secure it to my card, just in case I didn't like it. But I really do think that this solves a problem for me, which is when I make my cards in landscape like this, they do tend to slide, especially if I have a lot on my cards and they're heavier. And when I have my cards in portrait, the opposite direction, I don't have that problem. So this is only for these size cards that open in this direction. So I hope you found this tip helpful. Let me know in the comments if this is a problem you have ever had with your cards, and if this helps you come up with a solution, or if you have a different solution that you've tried that works. I'd love to hear it. So let me know, and thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next video. In the meantime, happy crafting, y'all.